Because he wasn't in front of the mic.
That's okay. That's the best moments are never recorded. Just like my soccer games when I was a kid, and all of my plays I was in, and my graduation. Dad. All right, let's move on. So, the best things in life, the facts of life.
The best things in life are priceless.
Is that a MasterCard commercial?
Maybe, I don't know. With the Dr. Pepper difference.
I don't know.
It's a commercial from like the 60s or 70s, 80s, 90s, and now. Mix 106.
Oh, Christ. Okay.
No, just Derek, but I get that a lot.
Anyway, welcome back from our little break, our little intermission in the middle of this video. For you, it's probably been 10 seconds. The listeners out there.
But for us, it's been an eternity.
It's been years. It's been years.
I grew a beard, shaved it off, grew another one, raised 2 kids with it, and then shaved it off again.
Oh my God. Okay.
I'm like a war veteran when it comes to relationships now.
Yeah. I was hoping you have some crazy analogy. No.
Nope.
That's stupid. You can't. That's like me being like, I'm like the Ronald McDonald of basketball. and then I don't explain it. Fuck you.
No, you don't need to explain it. I got everything right up here.
Okay. Can you imagine Ronald? No. There's probably been commercials where he's been playing basketball.
He can't play. He's unfit as shit. You
Ronald
know why?
McDonald?
Because he eats burgers all the time.
I was thinking about this. You could actually be a pretty competent vegetarian at McDonald's. They sell salads. They do sell fruit slices.
Yes, they do.
You know, waxed
Fruit
apples
pie?
or not. Yeah. Water.
Which reminds me,
Lettuce.
did Twinkies just like have a reunion tour and then just go away again, or are they around still?
Twinkies?
Yeah,
They still sell Twinkies?
Because there are no fucking Hostess fruit pies anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's the part of the factory that they had shut down because there was a big collapse, right, where Hostess went underwater.
Yep.
They brought it back. This is a weird thing. So, like 2 years ago, I had a Chocodile. You know what that is, right?
Yes.
It's like a chocolate covered Twinkie, and then like
It's a lot different than a Vanilla Gator.
shut up. So there's this thing, and there's like a news story, and it said Chocodiles are coming back. They're bringing it back, and it's been like 10 years since they've had them on the market. And I just read the article, like, stunned. I was like, 10 years? I just had one, like, a week ago. Like, what? No. So I went to the store, the gas station, and they had Chocodiles. They were selling Hostess brand, yeah, Chocodiles. And I was like, what kind of return is this? I was so confused. And I think I figured it out. I think they were using the same Chocodiles from 10 years ago. They just never went bad. That's my guess.
Probably. You know, Twinkies are supposed to never go bad.
That's bullshit, though. There's this video of this guy who had some from the 80s, and he like threw them on the ground and it shattered like glass.
Holy hell!
Yeah, and then he picked up a piece of Twinkie. Imagine that, and he was like cutting paper with it.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it just turns.
I want to put that in my body.
It just turns into
That'll
fiberglass.
Make me a fucking super soldier.
Yeah, it's true. You just eat so much. I always thought about that. I always thought about
glass.
Yeah, what if like preservatives and food actually preserves your body?
I'll be as spry as a 22-year-old forever.
You'll just never die. You'll just be full of like MSG. You just don't
piss and vinegar. You know,
you can't rot. That's your superpower. I can never rot.
Can you die?
It's a gray area.
At least I won't rot when I die.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I'll just fall over like a statue.
I'm like plastic. I'm not biodegradable. I'm environmentally unfriendly.
Just like in life.
Yes. Anyway, Derek, let's talk about this stupid ass movie.
Stupid ass movie. We already talked about the stupid one.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Unfriended.
Well, yeah, I don't think this movie's dumb at all. We're talking about funny games now, of course.
Funny ha-ha or funny weird, would you say?
I thought this movie was more ha-ha funny than thoughtful funny. It's like Patch Adams.
Awesome.
Wait a minute, no, that's not right. Patch Adams wasn't funny at all. Trying to think of it. Ronald McDonald playing basketball.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's kind of
perfect. You don't have to explain anything.
Here we go. So, where should we begin with this movie? I mean, it's been a while since we've seen it. You've seen it multiple times. It's not really fresh in my mind.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of the thought-provoking bits? Or
Because it doesn't really move like any other flick I've seen.
it's true. It's
And
slow.
I can get into that later, but
Yeah.
why I think that's so. But
I thought during this movie they were gonna have they're just gonna stop and all of a sudden they were gonna just like hunt him down, like, you know, you run out in the field and I'll hunt you down like Predator or some shit. But there is a movie like that. I can't remember what it's called though. You know what I mean, right? They like let him loose in the woods and they like, yeah.
trying to think of it. I've seen too many.
Is that your phone?
Yes.
Damn it, Derek.
I need to turn the sound off.
No, give me your phone. You'll have it back after class.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's right. I'm putting it in the drawer next to my cheat sheets and apples that kids
Well,
give
this
me.
is my cheat sheet.
Scott, you look disgusted. Why?
Poor Scott.
For your entire teaching career, all those apples.
Oh man, I wonder how many kids are giving their teachers like razor apples. You know,
Just hoping that they're going to bite into it during the middle of class. Just, ow.
gotta get your daily stuff of fruit. Teach, remember? Oh shit, you're right. Like a health teacher.
Eat cheese, teach. You ain't no one's dad.
Cream 6. Pack it in those books. No sweat, Clyde. So, oh, by the way, we should probably mention for part 2 of this, you might have noticed there's a little bit of audio difference. We recorded the first half of this video at our regular recording spot.
My house. In
Yeah.
the middle of the street.
Our house
Boom, boom, boom.
in the middle of the... But now we're at Scott's abode, his new abode.
Yes, smells like new house in here.
Yes, which is like a weird kind of paint
They've
burn
barely
smell.
taken off the price sticker.
You can just smell the workers that have died building this in the concrete below their watery grave.
Ugh.
I'm just kidding. This place is probably not haunted.
Is it, Scott?
That was a sense. Yeah, it could be haunted. It could be haunted. So yeah,
It doesn't seem to care either. So.
no, that's what's scary. Ghost
Ooh.
blowjobs.
That's spooky and erotic. Puts the fear.
Ghost jobs. All right, I've heard of everything, but I don't think I've heard of a ghost job.
Scared to come and go, man.
Oh my god! Now I completely forgot what I was going to talk about. Holy cow! But yeah, no, we have Scott here with us.
He's allowed us the rental space for a measly $1,000 a minute.
Yeah.
So hopefully all you motherfuckers are giving us that revenue.
And in the
'Cause
link
Scott's
below,
not cheap.
in the link below, we'll link you guys the directions to his house, and we're gonna send out keys in the mail, house keys. So cross your fingers, you might be the lucky winner.
There's going to be 5 golden keys.
I've got
You
the
get the
golden
VIP shit.
ticket. VIP shit. Rob our tech guy's house. That's the real contest. No, but I'd like to address that Scott claims to be the unpaid intern for this show.
Yes.
I suppose that works.
He's the official unpaid intern.
I said he could put that on a resume. I think he could. That would make sense. Still, I don't know. That makes me feel like we should pay him. And he's just, I'm just unpaid.
No, there's the emphasis on unpaid in that.
Yeah.
I don't have extra money around. It goes to the
Yeah.
cocaine and the hookers.
I don't have any income right now at all because of all the cocaine and hookers.
Story of my life.
That's why we've been off the air for so long. So we were in a 3-week cocaine binge.
Cancun Part 2.
We were just
baby.
on crazy bender.
Well, actually, one of the reasons I hadn't really been focusing on doing this in the last few weeks is because I started writing a script
Yeah.
for a horror/thriller movie.
I was getting really absorbed into my job at the time. So, I mean, it really was taking up a lot of my attention. And I'm, I was let go from that place, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That place was tearing me apart. If anything, this and school is like, that's what I should be doing right
This
now.
is cake and pie for you.
Yep. I don't even like pie, but
More pie for me then. I know.
I say as I'm eating a pie.
I know you hungry
Well,
hypocrite.
it's like a pocket pie. This is the Hot Pockets of pie.
It's the McDonald's pie too, so it's not really not a real pie.
I know, that's what's so great about it.
Pinocchio pie,
What?
because it's not a real pie.
No,
It's not a real boy either.
it's a fake pie. It smells like cereal though.
It's not magpie either.
Mm.
Right.
We'll edit that out. Does that disgust you? Did you put me on mute?
Oh, Scotty.
Could you hear me chewing?
Are you on pause or are we still recording? Jeez, that was funny.
We'll just leave that in there. We need to fill the time.
Poor Scotty. He had to hear that terrible joke. And hopefully through his editing powers, none of you will.
Let's begin. Let's just dive right into this movie. Let's dive right into this masterpiece. Or as I like to call it, the masturbating piece. Yeah, no, this movie is
Well,
like
with
so
Naomi
full.
Watson there.
I feel like this movie is a little full of itself.
Oh.
It's like the kid in like a senior like art class at like high school who like, I don't know, does like an acrylic painting because he had to, and he's like, this is fucking beautiful, you know? Frames it, doesn't even turn it in, he just keeps it, tries to sell it. This is true art.
He didn't want
And it's like a masturbating like horse or something.
It's a sad clown.
Damn bronies. Wait, sad
Holding
clown?
a pancake.
Wow. Okay, well our audio guy is, he's leaving. Oh my god.
Ketchup for the Big Mac. Brought to you by McDonald's.
Yeah, while Scott was going to the bathroom, and you said, was someone chasing you because he ran in here? That reminded me, I don't know why, but it reminded me of, like, Jason Voorhees. And then that made me think about how he's in the new Mortal Kombat game.
Yeah.
You aware of that?
I found out about that. I was like, so if Freddy came out for the 9th one, Jason came out for the 10th one, is Michael going to be in the next one?
Maybe. Yeah, well, Michael would be just as, like, Freddy, honest. Or he'd be, like, almost the same as Jason, honestly.
Probably. Just more controlled.
Yeah, but he's... I played it. My friend Henry has that and everything, and it's weird. It's weird. Seeing, like, Jason Voorhees just, like, move really slowly, and there's, like, Mortal Kombat characters, and he's just, like, hacking at it with a machete. He has this really unfair thing, though, where he can be brought back to life. Like, either you have, like, an ability that's, like... You get to pick from 3 abilities in this game, right? But this... One of them is just, like, when you lose all your health, you just gain, like, 1/3 of it back, and you're just still fighting.
That's fucked up.
I know, it's, like, not fair. So, you know, getting your ass kicked, you're like, oh, man, fucking close. Man.
It's very funny that a lot of people are under the idea that Jason can't die, because he's died several times.
Yeah.
Michael's never died. Jason died in the 4th one, was completely dead the whole time in the 5th one, and then he died in Jason Goes to Hell.
Did he die in Jason X? I think he did. He got shot in his
May
face
or may
something.
not. He was fused with cyberbots at that
That's
point.
right. He did die, but then those robots, like... Well, he was close
So
to
he's
dying.
died like 3 or 4 times, yet everybody says, Jason can't die.
Well, what brings him back? Are there just different instances? It's not linear, is it? There's no storyline, is there?
Hardly, so.
Because Jason X does not make any sense considering there was a Friday the 13th reboot after that. What did he come back from space, right?
Yeah. According to Jason X, he got frozen in the year 2008.
Okay. That's really stupid.
Isn't that fucking weird? And then he wakes up in the year 2254, I think.
Wow. That's
been
such a
years
specific day.
Since I've seen it. And I don't care to go back and watch it anytime
That
soon.
reminds me of like the Halo series, like how they have such a distant future. It's like the year 2500 or some shit. Like I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of times where it's like, oh man, they really thought that we were going to be in the future here, but nope. Like Back to the Future, like with 2015.
Yeah.
But
where's my self-lacing shoes?
yeah, but the year 2005, that's way away. Like really?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I guess we'll never have energy swords. Shucky darn.
Oh diddly dang! Did you know that the Jetsons was actually supposed to represent the year 2000?
No fucking way.
I'm serious. When they made the cartoons, like the year in the Jetsons was the year 2000.
Get the fuck out of town.
Well, I don't have a flying car.
Yeah.
Nor do I dress like that. Bunch of
The
idiots.
Rugrats pegged 2010 to have flying cards.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How old is Rugrats? That's like 90s.
Yeah, so 20 years ago.
Oh my god, what the hell?
We're halfway through the fucking century, or through the decade, and we still don't have so much as a flying board.
We still drive cars from the 50s.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
People can't let go of the past. It's
No.
like a grudge.
Speaking of The Grudge, no, we didn't watch The Grudge.
No, we watch Funny Games.
Yeah, so tell us about it, Derek. Tell us about Funny Games.
So, Funny Games, originally, it was a German film directed by Michael Haneke, or Haneke, made it in 1997, and then the movie that we just watched was a remake done by him in English, shot for shot.
And you can tell.
Yeah.
There's some
It
stuff
moves
in there.
like a German film.
Yeah, and there's a lot of crap in there that you're just like, oh my god, it just screams that era that it was originally from, you know?
It screams European.
Yeah, it's like the intro where they're in the car, like you know,
Yeah.
and the title comes on, it's like fucking grunge music, and it's just like loud, and it's like I don't even know what kind of. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, they're listening to like Vivaldi, like just classical music, trying to play the guessing game of guess the composer.
Yeah. You know, that old classic.
Yeah, fuck white or rich people.
Fuck white people. We're going to get a lot of hate mail, Derek.
Oh no.
You know how much those crackers hate being called white. Honestly, you can say anything about white people.
I know, we take it all.
Pretty much. I mean, nothing can really be insulting. So anyway, all these crackers are in this car. These honky ass motherfuckers. So
fuel me.
yeah, the title. That's the one thing that just I laughed so hard. I was like, God, that sucks. Yeah. The music is just like yelling. It's like, what did they? That's a genre, isn't it? Like like
screamo or something. Thrash metal.
Trash. Right? No, not thrash.
It is trash though.
It's like industrial mixed with like a blender. So, but then they have like in big red letters, like funny. Oh no, was it white letter? I don't even know.
Big red letters.
Yeah, it's
funny games.
Yeah, right over the freaking, just right over the.
You're just like, Christ.
It's. In fact, that might be the photo I use for this video because I can't explain how stupid and weird it looks. It's just out of nowhere, honestly, and there's nothing in the rest of the movie that's as aggressive as that, honestly.
Except for the end when it does the same thing.
Yeah. It ends how it began, yes. So anyway, Derek.
Just like a cycle, like the film would suggest.
Yeah.
Anywho, so it has man, wife, young Nazi youth, kid.
Yeah, Hitler's wet dream.
George and Ann, played by Tim Roth and Naomi Watts.
Mm-hmm.
And then little Georgie.
Mm-hmm.
They're driving up to their vacation home because, you know, rich people have those.
And if you didn't know, Georgie is the one driving, the little boy. No, I'm just kidding. No. They're German. I don't know. They took the Autobahn all the way to
the Volkswagen.
They took their Volkswagen up to the cabin in oh God. It's just right past Liechtenstein. Just take a left. Don't go right. Take a left. I'm sorry.
Jeez.
That's stupid. Kill me.
So they get to their lake house. They stop in front of their neighbor's house and yell out to him like, "Hey!" Because they're playing golf on the yard. Because, you know, everybody has the good old golf course on their lawn.
Yeah.
Fucking bastards. But they're like, "Hey, that's not fair. You can't be practicing, whatever." But their neighbors are acting very weird. They're just like, "What?" You know?
Yeah.
Very suspicious. And there's these two other guys hanging around with them. So then they're just like, "Okay, we'll see you later." Drive off, and they're like, "Huh, that was awfully odd. Who are those people?" I don't know. Relatives? Yeah. Whatever. They get to their little house, start unpacking everything, and everything's very like close up. Like when they put things down, like their golf clubs, which I thought was kind of funky.
I actually like how they shot that. It was really nice because it added suspense to everything, every object. Because it's like, why is that zoomed in on? Why is it panning up from this every 5 seconds? You know, although that may seem like it would be annoying, I didn't even notice it until you pointed that out right now. So it's obviously well done. So that I'll give a point to that. That's true.
Good job, Michael.
Yeah, good job, Michael.
So Anne starts preparing dinner. George goes to the gate to let their neighbor Fred and one of the guys in because they've come over to help unload the boat.
Yeah, and if you don't know, Georgie's the one driving the car. You're like, what the fuck?
He drives the boat. He drives the car. They're training this kid.
I should just say that every single second.
Uncle Jed's driving the bus.
Halfway through the movie, while you're explaining, I'll just be like, and if you don't know, he's the one driving the car.
Yeah. Okay. He's the one driving the plot straight down.
Oh, yes. Anyway, so yeah, the neighbors.
So he lets him in. The dog starts barking at the guy.
Yeah.
Not Fred, the other dude. And he's introduced as Paul.
Yeah.
And they say he's a relative of Fred's. But the dog, you know, animal intuition, women intuition. This guy's a shady dude.
Yeah.
You know this if you've seen at least one other scary flick.
Pretty much. He's got that kind of, he has that, like, No Country for Old Men kind of deadness to him, you know?
Like Anton Chigurh.
Yeah. Or more like a Norman Bates kind of creepy.
But, yeah, he's dressed very suave. Isn't disfigured in any way.
Yeah. He's like a
pretty boy.
He's wearing like a polo, you know, all white, by the way. They're both wearing, him and his lackey are both wearing all white.
So they go off and unload the boat. And the other guy that you see in the beginning comes over and asks for eggs from Anne.
Yeah.
Because,
just eggs?
Yeah, for some kind of dinner. I assume an omelet.
You got to break a few eggs to make an omelet.
Yeah.
But they broke those eggs,
Yeah.
and they did not make an omelet.
And this guy, I've only ever seen him in one other thing, Thunderbirds. You ever see that?
No.
Good, because it wasn't that good.
Oh, okay.
It was good then, but I can't really think back on it.
Is it a comedy?
It's like an action flick, but Disney kind of action. So it's
Oh.
very just,
Yeah. Okay.
But this guy, Brady Corbett, me, you, and Trevor, when we watched this, you two were like, "Man, he is fucking creepy."
Yeah.
That dude, because like his exchanges with Anne is just very unnerving.
Yeah, like he's gonna rape her at any minute.
Yeah. Between that, his short answers, and his long stares at Naomi Watts, like I do when I'm alone on the internet.
Oh my god. How old is she now, anyway?
They say 37 in the movie, but
Yeah, but I mean, like in real life.
I don't know. I'll look it up.
Well, I'll look it up, and then you can continue with this story.
So he goes to leave, and he drops the fucking eggs, of course.
Yeah.
Because he's a clumsy fuck.
I think you dropped him on purpose.
Probably,
Because
man.
he's an asshole.
So then she gets him 4 more eggs, and while she goes and does that, he just kind of looks around the house from where he's standing, just like, "Isn't this good Norwegian wood?"
Something really creepy. It has to be creepy.
And so she comes back with that, gets a coaster this time so he doesn't fucking drop the eggs. And as he leaves, he steps out the front door, gets attacked by the dog, so he drops the eggs anyway. Motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so at that point, Paul comes up, and he's like, "Oh, did you get the eggs?" They broke. "Oh, well, that's nice." Whatever. And then he sees the golf clubs in the corner. He's like, "Oh, those look nice. Callaway, right? These are fucking prime time top tier shit."
Yeah, he was like swearing, and she's like, "I don't like that language," or something like that.
He's like, Can I take them out and try them out, please? Please? It'll be just real quick, please." She's like, "All right, fine, go."
Yeah.
And during this time, George and Son are setting up like the sail on the boat. You can hear the dog barking off in the distance. His name's Lucky.
The
If
dog?
yeah.
I guess that would not really matter, but to an extent, yeah.
But you keep hearing bark, bark, bark. They're like, "God, what's up this dog's ass?" So Georgie goes, "Lucky, be quiet." And then you hear, "Arr." And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So the dad goes and looks and don't see the dog anywhere. And Paul comes back. He's like, "Yeah, it's really good. It's like night and day." Here you go. And the other guy, Peter, he was introduced as Peter, Paul and
Yeah.
Peter. And at this point, when he's bringing the clubs back to Anne, he goes, "So did you give Tom the eggs?" And she's like, "Excuse me? Did you give Tom the eggs?" So using different names, what's up with that?
Yeah.
So she starts getting suspicious. And so she goes, "Listen, you two, I don't know what kind of games you're playing, but you need to stop it right
Yeah.
now."
These are some funny games.
Yeah. You think you're so funny, do you? And so that, of course, Paul starts going, Did he do something while I was gone? Were you being rude?"
Yeah.
Just all sorts of shit. And she's not taking it. She's just like, "Please leave. I don't know what Peter might have done to you, ma'am, but just give him the eggs and we'll be on our way."
Yeah.
She's like, "No, fuck you."
In this movie, shit goes downhill right away the whole time, and it just never stops.
Yeah. So as they're sitting there arguing, George comes in, and so he gets involved in the thing, and it looks like Anne's being the jerk,
Yeah, yeah, because she's just
'Cause
telling
of how-
these nice white boys, I don't know why I said white, to like leave. And
These
yeah.
nice Miracle Whip.
And they're just saying, "Please, we just wanted some eggs." And he's like,
Yeah.
"Give the boys some damn eggs." No,
So-
it doesn't sound like that.
Anne leaves out of frustration, and then George just goes, "Well, can you just leave? I mean, it's hard enough being the mediator without knowing all the facts."
Yeah.
So then Peter approaches him, and he's just like, "So can we have the eggs, please?" Like, they're very persistent on this,
Yeah.
which is really funny because it bears no real consequence later.
Yeah.
It's
There's
just
really
a
no
way
reason.
for them to fuck with him.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so shit escalates there because Paul goes, just just give us the eggs. What's so fucking difficult to understand about this? And George goes, you better watch your tone, young man.
Yeah.
And then he says, you better watch yourself, old man, or I'll break your eggs. And that's when George slaps him across the face. Hard as shit.
Yeah.
Which was great. Didn't even flinch, really. Just,
No.
now get out of my house. And as George turns away, Peter grabs...
Like a 9-iron or something.
I think it was a driver.
Yeah.
And just whacks him straight in the knee.
Yeah. Shattering his kneecaps.
And so, these people aren't here to fuck around.
Yeah, that's where shit just goes crazy. Like, I mean, yeah, it's intense enough that you don't know what's going on with the eggs. And then he just slaps this crazy, creepy kid out of nowhere. And you think that maybe he's going to, like, leave and come back and do, like, horrendous breaking and stuff. Nope. Just, that's where it starts. It's going down. He just breaks his fucking knee right there.
Yep.
At this golf club.
So this incapacitates the father.
Yeah.
And he becomes pretty much fucking useless the rest of the film
Yeah, really.
after that.
He just looks sweaty and terrible. For this
So
movie.
haggard.
You mentioned how this actor always gets his, like, knees busted and stuff. And he's just always useless
Yep.
in movies. Yeah. I thought that was pretty funny. I don't remember his name, though. Tom. No, what's the actor's name?
In this movie?
Yeah, that plays
Tim
George.
Roth.
Tim Roth, yeah.
Yeah, he plays Mr. Orange in Reservoir Dogs, and he gets shot in the stomach.
Yeah.
And so he just lies down the entire film after that.
This guy's just good at
He's good at being useless.
method acting. Maybe he just gets beat up all the time.
I think the only film I own where he actually does something useful is in The Incredible Hulk, and nobody likes that movie. Really.
The 2008
8 one.
Yeah.
With Edward Norton as the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, that one does suck. That one does suck indeed.
Because he became the abomination in it,
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, breaks his kneecap. Now everyone's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
Like,
what's
is
going
happening
on?
now?
And so Paul just very calmly goes, you want to call for help or anything? Because we're not going to stop you. Well,
Yeah.
Peter's not going to stop you. Will you, Tom?
So weird.
And so they're like, well, what are you waiting for? And George looks up at Anne, and Anne goes, the cell phone fell in the sink. So they can't call for anybody. They don't have a landline up there. Why would they? It's a vacation home.
More or less.
So now they're basically in the grasp of these two suave motherfuckers.
These two douches.
Yeah. So then Paul goes, all right, let's play our first game. Pulls out this golf ball. He's like, what is this?
It's a golf ball.
Right, it's a golf ball. But why did I have it in my pocket? And nobody's answering the question. So then he just turns to Peter. He's like, well, because you didn't hit it. That's right, I didn't hit it. And why didn't I hit it? Because something stopped you. That's right. Because I had to test out the club in a different way.
That dog.
Yeah.
It's great. How many movies are we going to review where someone just like wrecks a dog?
I have no idea.
How many crazy blonde guys are going to like just destroy dogs?
Not so lucky, is he?
No. It's the night that...
And then it shifts into a game of hot and cold with the dog.
Yeah, they're trying to find the body.
Which is terrible.
I love that game.
And,
I thought that scene was funny.
and as she's looking around, and Paul's guiding her just by going, hot or cold.
Yeah.
At one point, he turns around and looks at the screen and smiles.
Yeah, he like breaks the fourth wall. And that's when you realize he's going to do this more often. And he
Yeah.
actually will talk to the audience during the course of this movie, which is kind of weird, but the message they send during this movie, that makes sense. You know, it's more of a narrative. But yeah, so they're looking all around for this dog. Hot, very hot,
Open the
car trunk.
the trunk of the car, and all of a sudden, boom.
Just falls straight out. And that might be the same, I don't know if they actually got like a dog that was like taxidermized to do that or something, but it looked pretty real. I think they actually knocked the dog out and like put it in the
go
car.
to sleep, pup.
Something,
Yeah. They come back inside, sit down, and they're like, all right, let's make a bet here. Grand game that, let's say in the next 12 hours, all three of you are going to die.
Which is like, well, duh.
Because it's like 9 p.m. at that point, or almost 9. They're like, let's say by 9 tomorrow, we bet that you'll be dead by then, and you bet you won't be.
Yeah, and this is really just a tease to the audience, because when you look at it and you watch it the first time, you think, oh, they're going to escape. At least one of them's going to escape.
Yeah.
Right, but that's, I don't know, that's one hell of a A lie, basically.
And so Peter, after they say this thing, he's like, it doesn't look like they want to bet. And Paul goes, well, that doesn't matter. They have to. And then he turns to the audience again, us, and he goes, well, what do you want to see? You're on their side, of course, but don't you want to see reasonable plot development?
Yeah. That's when you're like,
or
what?
Something like that. He's like, so whose side are you on? And then gets back to it, and Peter just explains that there's no way that they can end up victorious in this.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, they'll lose either way. That's what we're saying.
Which is just so weird. You're like, what the fuck? Now you don't know what's happening exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, they're telling you exactly what is happening and what's going to happen, but you just don't believe it for some reason.
It's
that's
very
not how,
disarming, because
yeah.
no other film really does that.
Yeah, that's not
type
how
of
movies
shit.
work. So when you watch this, it's confusing. Which is part of the reason I didn't like it too much, but it's artistically very clever.
Yeah,
So it's
they
weird.
they start delving into a lot more twisted, funny games.
Funny
Like
games.
they make Naomi Watts strip at one point
Yeah.
because they're like they want to see if, because she had a kid and she's kind of older, if she has jelly rolls.
Yeah, which is the most inappropriate. And he's like, I told you she didn't have jelly rolls.
Yeah, that
So
was the
bad.
greatest, because I remember the first time I saw this, I was like, they're gonna rape her.
Yeah, seriously, I thought that too. She's 46, by the way.
Yeah,
right
and
now.
that was made
So she would have been.
years
She
ago?
would have been about 30,
38,
30.
37, right about there.
Yeah, but let
Damn,
me
it's
talk
so-
about how creepy these two fags are. Because the one guy who's talking on the camera all the time, yeah, he's a little slick. He kind of looks like Macaulay Culkin motherfucker, you know.
Yeah.
But the other guy has this unibrow. He just looks like
It's got the stare that could send
Yeah.
chills down your spine.
he just
really.
looks like some. I don't know. He just looks really creepy. He's just a creep. Just a creeper. But I love that scene before that they strip where he's explaining who they are, and he's giving
yeah,
all
yeah.
kinds of different lies about it.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
And then he explains who his friend is, the unibrow one.
Because they ask, why are you doing this? And he
Yeah.
turns to Peter. He's like, why are we doing this, Tubby?
And he's like, I told you not to call me that. He calls him Tubby like all the time, and he hates
Yeah,
it.
he's no fatter than the other dude, which
No.
makes me laugh
Well, I think it's really funny.
about it. That's like me calling you Tubby. You're
My
a
brother already
fucking
calls
twig.
me fats. But no, I love that. I love that conversation so much because it's so creepy and weird. Because he's like, see, I'm from a rich, affluent family, but my Tubby friend here, he's poor.
He's poor white trash.
Yeah, he's poor white trash. He
Yeah.
fucks his mom. And it's
Yeah.
like, what?
He robs houses to support his drug addiction.
Yeah.
And he's like, and his mother, well, truth is, he's fucking her. And like
Yeah.
Peter's like crying.
Yeah, he's just like creepily
He's
crying.
like, you're a fucking asshole.
And he's like,
Look at all
I'm just
this.
kidding, Teddy. That's not Tubby, that's
It's okay.
it's a joke. And he starts like laughing and it's like, what the fuck is happening?
He's like, well, what do you want to hear? None of this is true. You know this.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, he's loving it.
And
Like,
he's
just
still crying a little. He's like,
fucking weird, man.
It is. But I don't know why, but that stuck with me the most. That line where he's like, he's fucking his mom.
Yeah.
Like in front of the kid too, just like it's supposed to be all this like this polite white boy, and he's just like he's fucking her. It's like, what the hell? What is this movie about?
Yeah.
Oh, it's weird. And then you wonder if he's even in on it because at that point it's just weird.
They put a pillowcase over Georgie's head so
Yeah,
he
the
doesn't
little-
have to see his mom strip.
Yeah, the little boy.
To prefer. To
What do they call it?
preserve
They call
family
it-
decency.
Call it want to play a game? It's called Cat in a Bag.
Yeah.
They just put a fucking pillowcase over the kid's head.
And occasionally Paul will rhyme in this movie like, now the cat's in the bag, so let's see if mommy's titties sag.
Yeah, that was a line. That was a direct line from this movie. See, it's fucking great. It's so stupid though.
You gotta
But
watch it, Scott.
It's pretty entertaining. That's true. So anyway,
I'll lend it to you.
So yeah, they make her strip. She's pretty much in her underwear for the rest of the film.
And once she's down to her skivvies,
yeah,
friggin' Paul's just like, what did I say?
no
jelly rolls. Now you can get dressed.
Yeah,
And then that's when I went, what the fuck?
yeah. Seriously, it's like it's so weird. So also the whole time, George Senior, the father, is just sitting on the couch, just fucking broken.
He's just a
They
useless
made
meat
him-
bag.
They made him a splint, which is weird.
Wait.
The crazy killer guys made him a splint for his knee
Yeah.
just to hold it in place.
With like tape and
wood.
two what looked like crutches,
Yeah, they were like two pieces of like a crutch or something.
which was sweet, I guess. But let's not forget who did that.
Yeah, it's weird. They're just like, yeah, he's studying to be a medical student. He can patch that up for you.
As she's getting dressed, freaking Georgie tears ass out of there
Yeah,
as soon as they let him go, and he makes it to the neighbor's house. But Paul goes after him, and Peter stays with the parents
yeah,
to make sure they don't run away.
exactly. So
Tapes them up and everything.
So now it's a fucking action scene. You think the kid's gonna like get help or something, but you know that shit just goes downhill. Like I said, nothing
Like a
goes
sack
right.
of potatoes.
Nothing goes right. So
And he gets in the neighbor's house, finds that they're dead,
yeah,
finds a shotgun on the floor, so he grabs that, of
Yeah.
course. He's no dummy. And he can hear Paul going, Georgie, where are you?
yeah,
He comes out after Paul's thrown on that Screamo music from the beginning.
yeah. He's like, I know. We'll put on some music, and like while he's hunting this boy down in this house, that it's quite clear that they've already killed these people. Like they're
Yeah.
the ones behind this. So yeah, he puts on fucking really terrible, awful industrial garbage.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, I don't even know how to explain it.
So Georgie comes out and Paul flicks on the light, startling him. He's like, oh, shit. So then Georgie tries acting tough with the shotgun. He's like,
Yeah, that's like
"Don't come any
7-year-old
closer,"
boy.
you know?
He's like 7 or 8. You know, he's pointing this double barrel at him though.
And this is one of my favorite scenes. Paul just looks at him smiling, and he's just like, cock it. And he's like,
Okay, yeah,
you know. And then he just gets really close to him, and he's like, pull the trigger.
yeah,
Yeah. So then he pulls it. Nothing happens. It's not loaded. So then he looks back up, and he's like, he starts crying. And Paul just, stone cold, right in his eyes, just goes,
just makes a little sound effect because he's an asshole.
so he brings Georgie back
And the shotgun.
and the shotgun, and he pulls out of his pocket 2 shotgun shells.
Yeah, how convenient.
He's like, it's really nice that your son found the gun for us,
Yeah,
which is fucked.
yeah. So because it's so funny when the kid walks back in with him too. They're just like, you fucked up, Georgie.
Yeah.
I have that look, just like, really, kid? You could have gone anywhere.
You could have been a contender. You could have been somebody.
So yeah, now the whole family's back. The whole gang's in town. It's just pretty much just tense, like just waiting. You know.
The next game they play is like count out.
Oh yeah, this is horrifying. So he loads the gun, puts it on the table, and they're doing a eeny meeny miny mo.
And they have to stop on 37 because that's how old they pegged Anne to be.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
No jelly rolls. Let's say 37.
Yeah. And
And so Paul, while Peter's doing the counting game, Paul goes into the other room and fixes a sandwich, and from in the other room, all of a sudden you hear just, and then screaming, whatever. Paul doesn't flinch at all. Like he
Yeah.
looks in the direction, like,
you'd think the killer would want to see one of them die, but
Yeah.
no, he just makes a sandwich and lets the other guy do it. And this is when you're like, who died, right? Who
Yeah.
died? And then you come back over there and it shows
blood splattered on the TV.
Yeah.
And it's
Jackson
just like,
Pollock
God
painting everywhere.
damn it, Tubby. You don't shoot the one counted out, you shoot the one left over. And then he says he tried to run away.
Yeah, and it was the boy.
Yeah.
He shot the little boy. Which is like, damn, you thought if anyone was going to live through this, it would have been
It'd
the
be
boy.
the kid.
But nope, you fucking made
No,
a
this
Jackson
movie
Pollock
gives
painting
no
out of him.
shit about your wants and needs.
Yeah, like it said earlier, but we didn't
So-
listen.
Yeah. So Paul goes, fuck, what time is it? Almost 12? They're spent. Let's get out of here. They
Yeah.
leave. And then we get this really long take just letting us sit in this just dreadful scene of kid brain all over the wall
Yeah,
and the parents just sitting there just freaking out.
yeah. And then the wife gets up pretty much, and she gets
She's
herself
very able. She's very
yeah,
independent.
she gets herself untied from her husband because she can't do it herself. But he's still sitting down; he can still use his hands and whatnot. So then she tries to get the cell phone working from the sink. She pulls it out, and she's just sitting there trying to figure it out.
Gets it on, but it doesn't get any service.
Yeah, yeah.
Or whatever.
Uh,
We spent a long time getting this recuperation
yeah.
going.
And I think this is where she just starts walking around the neighborhood, right?
Yeah,
She's
she
like, "I
gets
gotta go."
dressed, and leaves, and she goes, I'm going to find help.
Yeah.
And just before that, George says, I'm sorry. Just that. Not sorry for whatever, just
Yeah,
sorry in general. They share a weird, awkward, passionate kiss,
Yeah.
and then she leaves.
It's so weird. It's so awkward.
And as she's gone, he's sitting there fucking using a hairdryer on the phone.
Yeah.
And eventually, we hear this thing drop, and it rolls into the screen. It's a golf ball.
Oh, he must have not hit it.
And George just looks so downtrodden from it.
He's like, ah, fuck.
Yeah.
They're back.
And you hear Paul, round 2.
Round 2, fight. No.
And he picks up the golf ball, throws it into the room, I guess to try and hit George, but he misses because he's just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Good morning, Captain.
It's so creepy.
And so they sit back down and they do the counting game with these two.
Yeah, they do it again.
And
This is where shit gets weird. It's near the end, too, which is why it's weird.
yeah, and I think George is counted out at this point. So
Yeah.
he's the next up to be on the chopping block.
Pretty much.
And Paul gives Anne the choice to choose between
A gun?
him getting killed with the gun
Yeah.
or the knife.
And she gets
this
what-
game is called the Loving Wife.
Yeah. And she gets what she didn't pick. So
Yeah.
it's like the gun, quick and painless, or the knife, slow and like...
Whether by knife or whether by gun, can't remember the exact
something,
term.
it's always fun. And then he laughs like a
Yeah.
maniac, and you're just like, what the fuck, man?
He's like, "Come on, don't fall asleep. Wake up.
Yeah. It's like slapping him.
If you got to say a prayer, if you can say it correctly, you get to choose." And then she says it. He puts her in praying position because he's just like, "You're not putting energy into this.
Yeah.
Come on,
And-
make
and-
me believe that there's God."
Neither of them know any prayers except for Weirdo McGee with the eyebrows.
Yeah.
Tubby somehow knows a prayer. It's a weird one, but still.
What country are we? He's like, "Where the hell do we live? Like, how do you not know a prayer?"
Yeah.
And then he changes, and then he goes, "That was just the warm up." After a brief pause, and he says, "Now, if you can say it backwards correctly, then the actual shit
Yeah.
goes." And while he's just going into detail about it, all of a sudden, Anne grabs her shotgun,
Off the table.
shoots
Out of
Peter,
nowhere.
just blasts him away,
Yeah.
Tarantino style.
Yeah, he literally flies and hits the wall. He like gets thrown against the wall
Yeah.
from his shotgun.
Which Tarantino? Kill Bill Tarantino. That's how he flies.
Yeah.
You won't believe a man can fly.
So now you're like, oh shit, she did it, you know? She shot one of them.
Yes, sweet euphoria.
But then the main villain,
Grabs the shotgun back, hits her real hard,
yeah,
and this,
is fucking ridiculous. He's like freaking out. He's like, no, it's not
God
right. That's
damn
not
it.
how it was supposed to go down.
where's the remote control? And this
Yeah.
is the part that is basically lost everybody that I show this movie to.
Exactly. This lost me too. This docked a lot of points because I was like, what?
So he grabs the remote control.
Yeah, he grabs like the TV remote, like on the kitchen, on that
And-
same
and
coffee
you're
table
like,
with the gun was on.
What's going on with this?
Yeah, what's he doing?
And he presses rewind. And then the scene rewinds.
Yeah, all of a sudden the movie is rewinding itself, and then it stops right at that same point where she grabs the gun.
right where he goes, "All right, that was the warm-up round."
Yeah,
Which I thought was kind of interesting that would be the spot to rewind back to.
yeah, because they do some of the stuff over again. But then she grabs the gun this time, just like before. But
And
he
he-
grabs it before her.
And he blocks her. And he goes, "You shouldn't have done that, Anne. Now say goodnight to George." And he shoots him.
Yeah,
And then it quickly cuts to them taking her out to
a boat.
the boat.
Yeah, their sailboat.
And they sail out in the middle of the lake. And this whole time, Peter's talking about this weird story. And I tried looking it up one time to see what it was. About this guy who's trapped in a world of fiction, trying to get back to the real world.
Did that end up being anything?
I can't remember
Oh.
at this point. I'm going to look it up later after
It's all
this. But
It's not important.
I think it's kind of important to the theme of the whole movie.
That's true.
Like blurring the line between what is realistic and what is, theatrical.
yeah,
Like a movie.
pretty much. It's
And
just self-aware.
and so Paul asks him the time, and it's almost 9. Almost out there. And so he's like, "Oh, already?" Looks around, kisses Anne on the head, and then goes, "Ciao, Bella." Pushes her over the side.
Yeah, just drowns her in the lake. Straight up.
And he's like, Peter's just like, what? Why? She had like another hour left or something like that. And he's like, well, this weather is impossible to sail properly in.
Just like,
And
what is
two,
happening?
I'm getting kind of hungry. So they pull up to this other house where
Her
this-
friend,
where
her neighbor
Anne's friend, who had stopped by the day before
on her boat.
on her boat, lives,
Yeah.
and then asks her for eggs.
And then you're just like, oh God, is that really how it's going to end? It's just going to happen over and over again.
And then it ends.
Sure enough, yep, same fucking huge red text, funny games, just screaming metal, you know. It's, yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
ends.
it's the end.
It ends like, I don't even know, like like an 80s like music review. It's just so annoying.
So now that we've described the movie to the open air and Scott,
Yes.
if he's actually listening.
It's an interesting movie. It's
Yeah,
really
what'd you
interesting.
think, Cody?
I give it a lot of credit for being creative, and I mean, like a lot of the philosophical kind of questions it asks and how it presents itself, it's pretty nice.
Like the one right before they show up to that woman's house at the end is,
Yeah,
well, isn't fiction just as real as reality? Because you can see it.
yeah,
And the other guy goes, bullshit.
yeah, yeah, right. But this movie is almost all dialogue. There's really not much action to it. When there is, you never see it coming either. So I don't know. I just had problems with how cocky this movie thinks it is. This movie thinks it's like gonna change everyone's minds about shit. It's gonna like be deep, and you're gonna leave the theater going, "Whoa!" But what was that? But for the most part, I left just kind of wondering why they made some of these choices. I don't know. Aesthetically, it's kind of weird. It's just a weird movie. You can tell it's German, but I liked it overall. You know, I like the dialogue especially. That's probably my favorite part. He fucks his mom.
Truth is, he's fucking her.
It's so good. It's so good. That part's good. I don't know. I know you like this movie a lot.
Oh, yeah. I looked it up one time, like, when questioned about it,
Yeah.
what his standpoint is on violence, the director. He said he doesn't really like the promotion of violence in movies.
Is that why some scenes had it shown off
Yeah.
camera?
Aside from Peter getting shot, all of the violence takes place off screen.
Yeah, pretty much. That's probably why it's really surprising when he does get shot, because it's out of nowhere. He flies across the room, and it's the villain that gets shot. Which
Yeah,
is
and
unlike.
he's almost like one of those Samaritans, like, no, violence is bad,
Yeah.
but he goes and makes this freaking disarmingly graphic movie.
Yeah, it's
or-
graphic in the way mentally,
Yeah,
mostly, but it is
the way you imagine it to happen.
It does get bloody at those times. It's pretty. It's not gory. It's just super violent. Yeah. So I don't know. What would you, Derek, out of 10 spooks, rate this movie? And I'm gonna say we can use decimals on this one because I'm very
Uh-oh.
half and half. Unless you can convince me to rate it higher.
You know what? I will use a decimal. In fact, 8.5.
Really
Yeah, 8.5.
interesting. I give this movie a 7.5
Oh.
spooks out of 10. I don't know why. I don't know why I feel like giving it a half because I'm not. 8 sounds too good. 7 sounds too bad. This movie's
If it were anything less than 6, I was gonna try and argue with you, but
yeah. But if I think a movie is completely average and doesn't achieve anything groundbreaking, or if it just does exactly what it's supposed to do, but not in a good way. I don't know. Like an average movie for me, I will give a 5 out of 10. I'm not going to be that guy where it's like, it was okay, 7 out of 10. That doesn't make any sense to me.
10 out of 10, it's all right.
So yeah, this is still a good rating for me, honestly.
I think it's a welcome change from the average movie that comes out
Yeah.
that demands every 10 minutes to have something pop out at you or someone die or something like that.
Those definitely sound like our final thoughts on that.
This movie just moves at a crawl, but it keeps the tension right under the surface
I'll agree with that.
to where you never quite sit still. Like, all right. So the people who prefer to watch all of the average stuff out there, like your Ouija fan,
Your average Ouija fan.
y-
Oh God.
people who liked that movie,
average
or like
Transformers fanatic.
that demand constant things, will probably walk away from this film going, it's fucking dumb.
Yeah, because they're not used to critical thinking at the very least. I'm just gonna be honest. Like these people are
Or
kinda
pacing,
stupid. Yeah.
If you can watch The Shining, I think you can watch this. But In the same way, when I first showed this to my stepsister Desi, she liked this movie, but she didn't like The Shining. She said The Shining moved too slow.
I was gonna say,
Which is weird because I think they move about the same, if not Funny Games moving
the
slightly
intro
slower.
to The Shining, where they're driving the car and rolling the opening credits, is 15 minutes long, Derek. I literally did not want to watch the rest of the movie at some points. 'Cause it's 15 minutes of you watching this overhead view of a car driving through the... That is ridiculous. I could go on a real car ride. What am I doing? But those sound like our final thoughts for sure. But before we go, best scene and worst scene from this movie.
Oh,
Go.
God.
Give it to me.
Oh,
Give it to
man.
me. Give it to me, baby. I can tell you mine.
All right.
All right, my favorite scene was definitely the scene where they're just talking on the couch for the first time.
Making up the stories.
Yeah, where they're making up the stories about who they are. I swear to God, that one part where the first story he has about him being like white trash is so good. It's so well crafted. It's funny.
And in response to that, George goes, "I get it. Isn't that enough?" And
Yeah.
Paul's just like, "Tubby, he gets it." That's very great. Really. Listen, Peter, come here. And then that's when they start the thing.
Yeah.
I love those shifts in tones that he goes through. Where 1 minute he's just all smiley, like, "Gee shucks, folks, I'm just glad we're all spending this time together. Let's sing hallelujah." You know,
Yeah.
to I'm
The
gonna kill you.
Yeah. My least favorite scene though is the time, the small brief amount of time that they wasted during them getting the cell phone out and like drying it. I don't know why, but I
Yeah.
feel like they wasted a lot of time there.
That is a very long,
It was
tedious
kind of like,
scene.
come on, bring them back or something. It's just annoying. Oh, what about you though?
I'd say that's the least
Yeah, just the wasted
least
time.
good scene because they also have, and this is where it clashes with our American ways, is that the door is locked from the inside as well,
Yeah,
which we had to look up afterwards is a German thing.
yeah, it's weird.
To where the door locks from both sides, so if someone were to break into your house and then try to leave through there, they'd get fucked.
But no, what's stopping burglars from using windows? Come on.
Yeah,
Or a
windows are
Mac,
the
or an,
windows are the
so dumb.
they're the preferable way of transportation.
Well, what's your favorite scene though? Was it him getting shot with a shotgun? That was pretty cool.
No,
That
that's
was
like
so
everybody
cool.
else. That's like all the people who didn't like that rewind twist. I actually really like the rewind thing because I've never seen that before.
No,
in a
I
flick.
did not expect. My mind was fucking blown. I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" I
That-
was ready for. I was honestly disappointed because I was like, "Well, now they can just do anything they want." But at the same time, I was like, "Well, what are they going to do now?" Because it was just so different.
Yeah, that's honestly, I think my favorite scene because I've never seen that happen before in a scary flick, of course. And it borders on the fucking Wayne's World, like, oh, that ending was bad.
Yeah.
I prefer the Scooby-Doo
Scooby-Doo
ending.
ending,
You know?
exactly.
But it's not made for comedy pleasure. It's made for, fuck you, this is how we're going to end the movie, because you don't deserve a happy ending.
Very true.
And one thing that the director did say about this flick is that if you can sit through this whole film and not, like, leave disgusted or whatever, then you're
Yeah.
exactly the type of person that he doesn't like.
Yeah, I don't.
Which is really weird.
because he made the damn movie.
He doesn't like the fans.
Pretty much.
What an asshole.
Well,
I don't have to like him. He doesn't have to like me. But I like his film, and that's okay.
So now that that's out of the way, I'm just kidding. Anyway, what movie are we going to review next time? Because it's been a while. There's one I got really excited about earlier. What was it?
Poltergeist, according to the Majestic Theater website, is supposed to be in theaters next Friday. So we might be doing that.
Yeah, that's very possible.
And if we don't, then I'll just pull some other home invasion film out of my ass.
True, it doesn't matter. It could be anything at this point.
We can watch Wolf Cop.
Yeah, Wolf Cop. All right, so
either Wolf Cop or Poltergeist or whatever.
I'm almost positive Poltergeist is what we're going to be watching. So either way, stay tuned for, heck, it's exciting either way. A Werewolf Cop or the remake of Poltergeist. How could you not cream your pants at the thought?
Yeah.
So anyway.
I'm getting tingles from it.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone.
Feel
or
it,
listening, I
feel
should
it.
say. Feel it. All right. See you next week.
Whether you like it or not.
Bye. Feel it.